So things are getting a little out of hand, and Brett Cooper says the UK sentenced a baby to death. And I kind of I don't doubt it at this point, but I'm curious as to how this whole scenario went down. I'm going to check it out.
Welcome back to the comments section. I'm Brett Cooper. There has been a absolutely devastating story taking place in the UK for the last couple of weeks. This has been going on far longer for this family, but it really started to get traction on social media a couple of weeks ago, where an 8-month-old baby is fighting for her life in court against the UK government. This baby girl, named Indy Gregory, was diagnosed with a mitochondrial disease, which led her to be on life support. And the British government decided to play God and pull the plug. And the entire world.
Well, yeah, because they think they are God, because there's no other entity above them. They are the final entity at the top.
Has been watching and supporting this family for the last few weeks, including the Vatican Hospital and the government of Italy, who offered to take care of all of her medical care and make her an Italian citizen so that she could come to Italy and get the care that she really needs. But for some reason, the UK would not budge on keeping this baby in their country, and they pulled the plug, and she died under their care. This story and so many others like it are a constant reminder of the dangers of free.
Yeah, and they don't want to admit that they don't have the best medical care, so they're just like, nobody's better and this is all that can be done. And when you say that they're somewhere else, they're like, no, you're absolutely wrong. So, and we think that you're gonna do something messed up to this child, so we're gonna just keep it here. And that's messed up, man. I guarantee that's at least a similar way of thinking that they were doing.
Universal health care, and we're going to talk about that today. Before we do, though, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to this channel if you have not already, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss a comment section or off the clock episode. And starting on Monday, you can get 50% off of annual Daily Wire Plus memberships, in addition to great deals on Jeremy's razors and merch like mine. So make sure you set your calendars for next Monday and get ready for a good week of deals. So I began following Indy's story on Jacopo Cohi's Twitter as he was reporting on the story from Italy, and this is one of the first tweets that I saw from him. Breaking: the UK judiciary.
I have just a metal razor, and I just get straight razor blades and replace it. So I'm just in the market basically for the blades.
Orders the death of the little patient Indy Gregory tomorrow at 2 p.m. Despite the fact that the Roman Bambino Gesù Hospital has offered to treat her in Italy, and the Italian government has granted Italian citizenship to the little girl to allow the transfer. English judges are ordering the death of an Italian citizen, now an Italian citizen, based on a gruesome euthanasia parameter of dignity of life. We are falling back into the worst mistakes of human history.
Excuse me? The UK judiciary orders the death of the little patient, Gregory, tomorrow. Despite the fact that How does that even make sense?
Falling back into the worst mistakes of human history. So, in simpler terms, the UK government was demanding that these parents pull the plug on their ill daughter who was on life support. When they refused and said, no, we don't want to do that, they took it to court and are forcibly making the parents do this. And of course, our first thought should be, why on earth do they think that they have the authority to make this devastating decision for a family? Well, the fact of the matter is, they have universal health care.
Because they're saying that the baby isn't going to have a good life, so they're like, we might as well kill it. That's basically what's going on.
And that puts the responsibility of choosing what to do with it into the government's hands.
So it was similar
which is
thinking.
Terrifying. And anybody who knows anything about the government and what they do and corruption and overreach should understand that. And that's why we see situations like this where they try to play God on who deserves to get care and who deserves to get their plug pulled. Now, after Indy's story started gaining traction, that is when the Italian government stepped in. Here's a headline: Italy grants citizenship to a terminally ill British baby after a Vatican hospital offers her care. Now, the Vatican hospital claimed that they had high hopes for the situation. They even thought the baby Indy might have been misdiagnosed. They had alternative treatment options. They were giving the parents a lot of hope, which led to Italy granting Indy full citizenship, and they offered to transfer her, which you'd think would be more than enough to allow the family to go seek help. But no. Look at this headline: UK judge denies transfer to Pope's hospital for baby girl slated to die. And this entire story...
Why would they even get involved? And they would deny basically the head church from taking in a child. Come on now. they're either completely not self-aware or they're just evil, which I think both are evil. So like even so just evil at the end of the day.
Makes me seethe. I've been watching this unfold for the last week and a half thinking, this is absolutely asinine. Of course they're going to let her go. Italy just
She's
granted her
losing her
citizenship.
mind over
There is
this.
hope. Doctors are saying she
I'm
might have been
losing my mind a
misdiagnosed.
little.
There's a possibility that she could live. People with her disease have lived into their 20s and beyond. This is insane. And the court kept saying no. And at this point, it has to be about their pride or sense of control over the situation, because this solution would literally require nothing from the UK. Nothing on taxpayers, nothing. But they still refused. They refused to let her go. One person on X said, in Britain, you can fly your loved one over to Switzerland to end their life. But if you try to fly your child to Italy to preserve his, the police will literally hold him hostage until he dies. Which is exactly what was happening in that hospital with Indy and her family. I mean, they seem to fight really hard to allow you to end your life. You can fly to Switzerland, you can go to Canada if you want to euthanize yourself. But when you try to continue life, that's when it's a problem. And that is utterly disgusting. And of course, Indy's parents, who just seem like saints, were fighting hard to appeal this decision, which had already gotten turned down and postponed multiple times over the last couple of weeks. Here's another tweet from Jacopo about that. At one point, when it was postponed, he said, breaking, life support discontinuation postponed. There are still hours of hope for Indy Gregory. The appeal on the possibility of transferring jurisdiction to the Italian court will be heard tomorrow from noon Britain time, and consequently, the deadline for the removal of life support is postponed until the outcome of that hearing. And these parents, guys, are just amazing because they kept fighting. They did not let up. Somebody
Wait, so is the baby still alive? Because if the baby's just keeping on living, and like, is the baby being a baby? Because if the baby is a baby, then what are they doing?
tweeted and said, this would be the end of me. They would have to kill me to stop me from taking my child to Italy. Humanity is so lost. And I truly cannot imagine what her parents were going through, because it's not like they could just pick her up and leave. It's not like her father could say, screw you, I'm taking her home, because she was on life support. Moving her to Italy was already going to be pretty risky, even with all of the medical protocols and precautions. Now, not only did the UK government deny every single appeal to get this baby the help that she needs in Italy, the UK would not even allow the family to receive end-of-life care in their own home. They demanded that Indy be pulled off of life support and pass away in one of their hospice facilities. So they moved her from the hospital to one of their hospice facilities so they could pull the plug and they could watch her and make sure that she died there in the UK. Again, what is their motive here? Control? That is the only reasonable option. Here's a tweet about this one as well.
Yeah, dude.
Parents of critically ill baby Indy Gregory have had their appeal rejected against a high court ruling that their daughter cannot receive end-of-life care at home. So they were not only trying to appeal the fact that her plug be pulled, they were also trying to appeal the fact that they would not let her go home. Again, this is asinine. The fact that a government is able to do this to...
Yeah, and they're like forcing the baby to die at their hands. Why? Why? It's like they just they just want to kill babies. I don't see it any other way.
to a family. Now, after weeks and weeks of fighting, the panel of judges shut down the appeals once and for all. They transferred her to that hospice facility. They took her off life support on Monday. She fought for hours, but she eventually passed away that evening. The UK government sentenced Indy Gregory to death when there were doctors who were willing to try and save her, who believed that there was a chance that she could live, a chance that she had been misdiagnosed. When she was granted Italian citizenship, and they were offering to transfer her, when her doctors and lawyers were begging to let her live, or at the very least, pass away in peace.
That baby looked like the baby was being a baby. That's so gross, dude.
At their home. The fact that they could do this is terrifying, and it is disgusting. And I saw so many comments under these posts saying things like, she was in pain. The judges were just trying to do the right thing. They wanted to give her dignity at the end of her life.
Who the fuck cares? I'm in pain and I want to keep living. Don't fucking kill me just because my back hurts. I mean, I guarantee that baby was probably in a lot more pain than me, but like, she couldn't dictate whether or not she wanted to keep living.
The parents were being awful, trying to move her when she was in pain. I don't care. That is not the government's right. A panel of judges should not be able to strip parents of their rights and hold a child hostage, a child that is now a citizen of a different country, simply because they think they know better. This
Ah,
is
man, I was
dystopian, but
about to
sadly, I think that we
fucking
should all
say
start
that.
preparing for more of this to start happening. If you want to be prepared in other parts of your life, you should check out Bulletproof Everyone. Bulletproof Everyone is a premier American body armor manufacturer and supplier, and it's designed and built for everyday wear. Their unique armor systems offer 25% more coverage than standard armor while
Dude,
maintaining flexibility and all-day wearability. Bulletproof
that's
Everyone's ultralight
badass.
armor system is so light and thin that you might just forget that you are wearing it. Your safety
Okay, I kind of like Brett Cooper. I've never actually watched her show before. I've just kind of like seen her on podcasts.
and discretion is their top concern. Unless somebody literally puts their hands on you, no one will have any idea that you are protected. And with Bulletproof Everyone, you are not a walking billboard, which is just another thing that I love about this company. There are no visible logos, no flashy designs. Their comfortable, tailor-made clothing
Dude, I
system goes
want one.
above and beyond, adding additional security by keeping you incognito and under the radar. Whether you're working or playing, Bulletproof Everyone has got the perfect armor system to fit your everyday lifestyle and your everyday budget. Right now, my viewers can get 10% off plus a free Bulletproof backpack with their purchase of any Bulletproof clothing. Just use code Cooper at checkout at bulletproofeveryone.com. Again, that is bulletproofeveryone.com, promo code Cooper. Now,
I think we're starting to get into the cyberpunk era. Because that sounds like some shit that I'd be trying to get cyberpunk.
as I was researching this whole situation and
Bulletproof
learning about
everything.
Indy, I learned that this was not a one-time thing in the UK. And this is the first that I had heard of this, but they do this quite often. Here's a headline from 2021. Parents fight to save daughter on life support after UK court demands that they pull the plug. This one is from 2022. Archie Battersby, gravely ill 12-year-old, dies after removal of life support. And then more cases. This was in an article about Indy. 5 years ago, 23-year-old month baby Alfie Evans was also...
Yeah, they're just wanting to kill your children. That's all it is, because, like, if they have the chance to just off somebody, that's less population they have to worry about.
granted Italian citizenship. I love Italy now. Apparently, they're the only country that is concerned with keeping children alive. But anyway, they were granted citizenship after life treatment was withdrawn from life-supporting treatment in England. However, officials said that there could be no possible suggestion that English courts did not have jurisdiction. And then the sitting judge dismissed Alfie's parents' last-ditch appeal and told a hearing that Alfie is a British citizen. He is undoubtedly habitually a resident in the UK, therefore he falls under the jurisdiction of the High Court. So just because he's lived in the UK for his 23 months, even though another country is offering to take him, give him citizenship in Italy, move him there and care for him. No, we're not going to let you go because you're a citizen of us. And like I asked at the beginning, why is all of this happening? Why would...
I bet it's because it would take so much paperwork that it would just be impossible for them to let you go do all of that without it taking just a few years. So they're like, we don't have time. This would cost so much money, and that's probably exactly what's going on with that kind of stuff.
Would any sane person or nation do this? And it always comes back to control and healthcare. When citizens lose the ability to pay for their own healthcare, they also lose the ability to make these important life decisions within the healthcare system, which is terrifying. One person replied to a post about Indy and said, "The story of Indy Gregory and other infants in the UK makes..."
Yeah, and they won't have your records if you go to Italy and get medical care. They're just gonna not know, and they want to know everything.
Makes me uneasy about the idea of free healthcare for everyone. Uneasy? It should make you see the fact that they have this control. Like, you are putting your life and your loved ones' lives into the hands of incompetent, greedy government officials who do not care about whether you live or die, because to them, you are just a number in a system and something that costs them money. So no wonder they want to pull the plug. The government should not play God, and people who still believe that it is okay to hand over our rights and lives to these corrupt systems need to wake up.
I think it should be illegal for government and corporations to track you. At all. No questions asked. Dead and done. No tracking. Don't care. Even if, think of all the good aspects. Nope, done. I want everybody's name out of the systems. No more Social Security. No more Social Security numbers. I don't know what else to say. It's all bureaucracy and evil junk and people just working jobs trying to get paid, just masses of people just working jobs trying to get paid, doing the bare minimum. And it comes together to be these gross, barely working systems that are ran by people that were just out for themselves and doing things that think would help humanity when it's really just to help whatever their agenda is. And who's to know what's actually going to help anyway? Most terrifying words in the English language are I'm from the government and I'm here to help.